Welcome to the bold analysis. On 17th August, this Thursday, as the new leader, Raila Odinga is going to address the devolution conference. And this development has come against behind the scene efforts by the Kenya Kwanza machineries to make sure that Raila does not appear in the picture in the upcoming devolution conference in Eldoret. And I am going to look at the reason why those behind this move did not want, or rather worked tirelessly to block Raila, but that did not see the light of the day. Over the weekend, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was on a 2-day working tour in Nandi County, allegedly. But then there is nothing like working tour. It's a sweet word to call campaigns. I don't know what which working tour is in Nandi. And this was coming at a time when the region was going to host the devolution conference. The devolution conference is domiciled in the office of the Deputy President, because the Ministry of Devolution under Uhuru Kenyatta, it was a full-fledged ministry, but it was reduced to a state department, and that state department was put under in the office of the Deputy President. So matters organization and matters devolution has been on Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And as of Monday this week, the communication had come out that Raila was not going to address the devolution conference. Mgala muwe haki mpe. The Azimio leaders and governors then wrote a protest letter to the Council of Governors that Raila Odinga must address devolution, because unlike Rigathi Gachagua, who lately he has achieved is being the Deputy President, Raila Odinga was the forefront and decided to put his best foot forward in 2010 that birthed the devolution that this country is enjoying. So you cannot track the story of 2010 constitution that birthed devolution without mentioning Raila Odinga and late former President Uhuru Mwai Kibaki. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think the Rigathi team did not wanted to black out Raila Odinga from the devolution conference in Eldoret? And I want you to put the context of Eldoret. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. I'm also saying thank you for those who are supporting us as we finish up this fundraiser for Brian's appeal. We are only looking for 50,000, I think. And we're finishing it, of course. I just want to check right away. Yes, 41,000. Yes, so what we'll collect, we'll send to the family tomorrow in the morning. Kindly, Brian suffered, was beaten, that police brutality, the video of Nyalenda, and he was in ICU for 7 days but passed on. The family is due for burial this week on Friday. There's a deficit of 50,000, and that's where as the board family, we decided to plug in to support them with that 50,000 to help probably casket and any other cost that might then come. So that money is going to Brian's mother. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some 4 reasons why your Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, did not want Raila to address. And Raila had to maneuver his way because that secret memo by Azimio senators, that was, and I remember even MCS led by Alai saying they are not going to attend devolution conference unless Baba is going to talk. And all the devolution conferences, he's been talking. He's been giving keynote speeches. He's been giving keynote speeches in those devolution conferences. But on this one, there was an attempt to make sure it doesn't make his way, because we were taking our political bad manners even to the Council of Governors. Number one, There is a pedestrian thinking within the juvenile Mount Kenya politicians that Raila is a commoner. And you will hear them shouting on top of the cast that who is Raila? He's not having any office, he's not this, he's not that. And I don't know, someone can only have a profile if he has an office or if someone is in government. So they've always tried to think, or rather to treat Raila as a commoner. The fact that Raila Odinga did not become president in 2022 does not decimate him to a commoner. That is the truth. Whether you support UDA or Azimio, the truth of the matter is that Raila is not me and Raila is not in the same level like you and me. And as someone, you know, sometimes I normally see when statesmen, when people that were very prominent people, when in their absence, we tend to embrace a lot of, you know, we embrace them in their absence. But when they're around, we are around, we tend to look at them, we want to try to look at them as commoners. Well, the truth of the matter, what was to be achieved by locking Raila is to, you know, to treat him as a commoner. And what you will actually see is politicians, you know, after that devolution conference, you know, will go some and say, hata ile mkutano ya magavana, tulimzuia hakukuja kuongea, tunaona tumemweza. So those are kind of some very petty, cheap political excitements that were behind this plot to stop him. Number two, the political team, the political machinery is committed to lock Raila out of Central and Rift Valley. Let me just tell you, when last did Raila Odinga visit Rift Valley or even a county in Central Kenya? You'll realize that he rarely visits those places. It's because part of entry point. And you know, Raila is a politician. You hate him and love him in equal measure. Because if he walks out, if he comes out of devolution conference and decides to stroll in Eldoret town, people will mill around his convoy and people will listen to what he's saying, irrespective of whether they are from that tribe or that other tribe. So what he didn't want is a situation where, and I think that's what they're trying to avert, is a situation where Raila goes to Eldoret and maybe gets to Eldoret town and pulls some multitude crowd, and with that, because they know that people will mill around Raila Odinga's convoy. Every part of this country, you'll always find people interested, want to mill around his convoy. So it was to create, you know, totally lock Raila Odinga from even getting entry there. You know, it will make, I can tell you, it will make headlines. I saw some parents complaining, you know, about the Finland and Canada education saga. Now, that's where Raila thrives in. He's been seen as a man of the people, that a man who fights for the rights of the people. So on this one, if you'll get to Eldoret town and maybe at one point try to address this issue, because the truth of the matter here is the president, the deputy president, and the who and who's in government have declined and are tight-lipped around the Finland saga. No one is talking about it. And it's true that the sovereign are their own. The parents that lost their millions into that scandal are on their own. The only person I think I later saw commenting about it was Oscar Sudi. So they're also feeling like Raila Odinga will get some big political points from the internal resistance that William Ruto is experiencing from that region. Number three, there is a Kenya Kwanza plan to suppress the profile of Raila Odinga. It is escalated, you know. Try to imagine during that protest. You know, we normally say that Uhuru and Matiang'i, but did we ever hear of Raila's bodyguard abducted during, even at the height of differences between Uhuru and Raila? You couldn't hear of that. There was abduction or arrest of Raila Odinga's personal security, Mr. Geta. It was done to suppress the profile of Raila. And you know, people imagine now, kama bodyguard wake ameshikwa, basi si ako tu hivyo, you know, that will be it. There've been a lot of now withdrawal of security details. I was also understanding of some diplomatic, was also getting some diplomatic treatment that has also seemed to have been withdrawn now. Those are just things, even including this one, not to mention, to deny him opportunity to talk in our devolution conference, is to decimate his profile. Note that in a national discussion like devolution conference that touches on devolution, because devolution is not a Kenya Kwanza thing. You know, the truth of the matter here is, even William Ruto, who is now the president, when people are fighting and when people are campaigning for the constitution that birthed devolution, he was on the side of the no. So on this one, it was just trying to suppress the profile. Lastly, Kenya Kwanza wanted to dominate the conference and in terms of agenda setting. I can tell you, from the speech of Rigathi Gachagua to William Ruto, there will be no difference. Don't expect any difference, even if the speechwriters are different. All of them, that platform, there will be nothing to do with devolution. But because the cameras are there and the mainstream is live streaming devolution conference, the president and the deputy president are going to take time to explain to Kenyans what, according to them, they have done so far. And it will be nothing to do with, it will be spinning something that we've done in respect to devolution, and because they also have the airtime that they rarely get, they will also use it to say, we've given fertilizer to, county, aggregation parks. There will be a lot of what we have done so that people get to understand, and they wanted to set that agenda. Now, when you have Raila Odinga, you have a different line of thought. Now, Raila introduces what so far has been done. It introduces the gaps. And as a person, as a leader in governance, you rather get that who is telling you what you have not done than person who is coming there to praise you. Like what is normally done to the president. And after you've done that, you've done this. But I wish they actually also celebrate those who tell them the gaps. And Raila comes in with the dent. I'm told kuna kitu kupigwa dent. Raila comes in with the dent. This is what so far has been done. This is what is the county is lacking. This is what I think we would have done. And they don't want to get that. So it's to set the agenda so that they will allow the government side to set the agenda of that conference. And with Raila, Raila's voice is always amplified. In the devolution conference, I'm very sure that if these fellows are to speak one day, then Ruto, Raila, and Rigathi speech, they will pick Ruto and Raila and run with it. So that to me is probably what was intended. But the memo by Azimio governors, who had also met Raila Odinga, and they agreed that if Raila was not going to attend, then they're also going to boycott. So that boycott pushed Rigathi to the corner.
Mama. Iwacho ni nyanyo moro mane marariyo ni.
Marariyo mane otim for 3 days no. Koro no chako Wednesday, Thursday, kaso Friday, ko Friday mano goye. Koro koro kako teo hospital to bedo in coma. Koro otieko 1 week kendi ko kete oxygen. Oketo
wantie iko kete oxygen
Ken coma kete oxygen. Koro otieko 1 week agik Sunday. Toto.
Agik Sunday toto.
Koro otieko mana 1 week. Ko chiem to main. Koro kagi Sunday yote kako.
Agoni mos makende wago mos maduong' ahinya. Nen wuodi maradi?
En chogo, en wuoda mara auchiel.
En wuodi mara auchiel. To notimo ang'o Kisumu?
Kisumu nyoto tiyo mane hotel.
Nyoto tiyo mane hotel, Mos ahinya nowachne to koro owacho ni useyudo kaka inyalo ang'o mowacho ni useyudo cha?
Kaka inyalo chul bill.
Mar osiptal. Nentie nyaka mar osiptal,
Nentie nyaka mar osiptal gi mar michari. Koro fodore dia gine beche ma winjo joga godala kaka dhi ome. Kaso gidiang be koko yudi ke ng'eni joluo to nyaka welo ama boyo nyaka le chiem. Koro mago poni kanyo matindo go.
Koro nitie gima nowuok e telo maduong' lakini pod ok oromo.
Pod ok rom.
Okay. Okay, sawa. Watema ne wabende. Apa to uketo budget maro sanduku pesa di?
Koro sanduku negiketo mare 30,000.
Negiketo mare 30,000, eh? Okay, no dwanu gole ticha
igole Thursday. Ike Friday.
Aya, sawa. Tarehe 17 eh? Koro